All right. We're up. I'm hitting admit all.
Good luck.
And I'm hitting admit all. All right, take it away, Tracy.
Okay, Grady, I got to get you and your brother ready. And I have to join this call.
I'm working on that. All right, take it away, Tracy.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Welcome to TPI Transition. Was I muted that whole time?
Yep.
Okay. Zoom. Let me try that again, okay? Well, thank you all for being here tonight. We're so excited, and welcome to TPI Transition Academy Demo Day. I am Tracy DeForge, the founder and CEO of the Players Impact, a community of professional athletes who have come together as a collective to connect, empower, educate, and invest. 4 years ago, when TPI got started, we had one mission, and that was to empower athletes in business. Today is such a big part of that story. These athlete founders are unbelievable entrepreneurs that have worked so hard to get here today. I am proud of what we have accomplished, but we could absolutely not do it without a team. Thank you so much to our partners, Transition Sports and Entertainment, and a special thanks to Debbie Kleiman for jumping in and really shaping this program and making it what it is today. So with full gratitude for amazing partners and people who believe in our mission, I am going to turn this program over to Debbie now.
Great, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate it. So as Tracy just mentioned, our mission with the Academy is to provide athlete entrepreneurs with the tools and experiences to take their startups to the next level and help them grow personally as entrepreneurs. It's been a fantastic 10 weeks with this first cohort. They met a ton of new people, advisors and mentors, investors and serial entrepreneurs. They learned a lot from pitch practice and fundraising advice to leadership, influencer marketing, and founder finance, which most of them did not like. We covered so much ground in a short amount of time, and it's only the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey. We know that with this foundation that they have gotten through the Academy, they will continue to grow and their startups will continue to grow. As you can see, this cohort is a really diverse group. Race, gender, age, background, but they all share the common understanding of what it takes to be an elite athlete. It's been a blast to work closely with all of them, and I can't wait to see what happens from here. I'd like to say a quick thank you to the great lawyers at Cooley, especially Jim Fulton in the New York City office, who sponsored the Academy this year. Their support allowed us to do big things with this first of its kind program, and they provided excellent legal and business advice for the entrepreneurs. Also, thank you to all the mentors and advisors who were so generous with their time and advice. A special thanks to the Point mentors, Shannon, Alex, Prag, Shane, and Susan, who met with their teams every single week and opened many, many doors for them. We are really grateful for everything you did to support these startups. And last, to the team at TPI and to the team at Transition Sport and Entertainment, who supported the Academy and helped us bring it to life. And I want to give a shout out to my intern, Abby, because she's just plain old awesome. So here's the agenda for today. Each of the startups will give a 7-minute pitch. It'll be followed by 3 minutes of Q&A from investor questions that had been generated in previous sessions. After that, we will set up breakout rooms. And each startup will go into a breakout room and they'll be joined there by a TPI professional athlete for a more intimate conversation about the startups and to learn more about these founders. It should be a wonderful time to network, ask questions, and enjoy each other's company. So you'll learn more at the end about how to actually do that part of it and get into the breakout room of your choice. But please, 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 once the pitches are over, stay around and enjoy the breakout room part. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. Our first pitch today is Rohan Brown, the founder of Barley. Barley connects alcohol brands with consumers at the point of sale, generating valuable data that they can't get anywhere else. So take it away, Rohan. I'll give you the screen and set up your pitch.
Okay, perfect. Very excited to pitch. Let's get started. Just want to make sure my video is on as well.
You are on.
All right, perfect. Everybody can see?
Yep.
Let's get started. Hi, my name is Rohan Brown, and I am the founder and CEO of Barley Incorporated. We are building a platform that enables alcohol brands to reach their consumers within bars and restaurants. Now, ever since being 21, I've always considered myself a nightlife enthusiast, so much that I created my own blog where I would share various experiences in the Philly market, going to bars and restaurants. And it was in my personal experience I realized there's a lot of pains in this going out experience. Please let me explain. Alcohol brands spend around $19 billion annually on inefficient and misplaced ads. They have absolutely no idea what their marketing ROI is within on-premise locations, and they have very little on-premise data, even though this is the space where they test new products. Now imagine spending $1 billion a year on TV and radio ads to reach your consumers when they're right there at the bar. Meanwhile, bars and restaurants have adopted online ordering at an exponential rate over the past 14 months. And as they're building their business back, they're struggling to find a sustainable on-premise online ordering solution. What's more, it's not allowing them to optimize their customer channels, that being dine-in as well as takeout. And it's causing them to leave money on the table, especially with the staffing shortage that's currently happening. And let's not forget the consumers, people like you and I. We've all been there. How hard is it to grab a drink on high value nights? With the ubiquity of mobile ordering, convenience is king. We are always searching for a better, more personalized experience. So here's what we do. We provide a mobile ordering solution so bars and restaurants can align with how their guests prefer to purchase. We provide a platform to alcohol brands at the local, regional, and national level so that they can reach their consumers within the bars and restaurants. We provide insight to these bars, restaurants, and brands so that they can target their consumers better. Now, what's the result? The Starbucks app for bars, as recognized by the Philadelphia Business Journal, our app will enable guests to order food and beverages right from their phone for a takeout or dine-in experience. And although our technology is consumer-facing, this is a pure data play. There are plenty of competition in the space, but we know where we stand. We are alcohol-centric and data-focused. We are building a platform where brands, bars, and patrons can interact with each other and be engaged all on one platform. And it works. During our beta testing, we worked with Remy Martin, who saw over 5,000 impressions in our app, which led to a 16% sales increase. And these are on slow nights, your Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. During that time, we drove over $17,000 in revenue at 7 partner venues. And our relationship with brands have been so successful, we decided to double down. We work with brands who pay for the initial installment and technology of our solution, who then introduce us to these hospitality groups. We then work with the hospitality groups on premise in order to get users on our platform. Here's how we make money. We charge the brands a platform subscription fee, looking around a little over $6,200 per quarter, $25K in total annually. And then once we aggregate enough data after 6 months, we circle back to these brands and offer them another data product. When we reach mass on the critical mass on the user side, we'll be able to offer ad products that are strictly performance-based. Here's a very conservative 3-year projection over the next 3 years. We only want to work with a handful of brands in the first year, be active in 1 market. We aim to acquire 25 venues, and from each venue, we'll acquire 1,000 users. In year 2, we get a lot smarter, working with 30 brands, be active in 2 markets, and we'll be working with a little over 120 locations, and then generating at least a little over 2,000 users per venue. The goal is to build the playbook in years 1 and 2, and then knock it out the park in year 3. Here's a breakdown of what that revenue looks like month over month as we grow. Our main revenue driver will be platform subscription. Within 6 months, we'll be able to offer data via focus groups. These brands are already spending a lot of money on getting insights with the on-premise space. We can give them something for a lot cheaper at a fraction of what they're using right now. In month 15, we'll offer advertising products that will be performance-based, and then we'll close our next round at the end of our 2-year period and offer new ad and data products. We are currently seeking $700K. The use of proceeds will go as followed, starting from the bottom going up: 45% to double down our go-to-market strategy, 25% to build Barley 2.0, 18% is going to go towards POS integrations, and 12% is going to go towards the team, which I'm happy to introduce. I myself, as I mentioned before, a nightlife enthusiast, MBA graduate, and worked for an investment firm before founding Barley. I was also a promoter in college and worked as a bouncer as I built Barley from the ground up. Alex Jackson has over 25 years of experience as a full stack developer, and Gabrielle, our UX designer, graduate of Columbia University, has over 10 years of experience as a UX designer. Jackie, our data scientist, has had leadership roles at Hilti as well as Assurian. And then, of course, Tom, our on-premise specialist, has been in the industry for over 25 years and at one point oversaw 19 locations, that being bar, restaurant, and hotels. Now, so just to recap, we're currently seeking $700K. We're in the middle of 2 industries eagerly searching for a new solution, that being hospitality as well as alcohol. Our team collectively has over 50 years of experience in this space, and we've worked with international brands that have paid us for our service. We have strong acquisition partners to help onboard operators and suppliers at scale. Now, we've been featured in numerous amounts of media outlets in the Philadelphia market, from Philadelphia Magazine all the way to NBC 10, and we even got a chance to pitch on Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch about 1.5 years ago. Now, you may be asking, why now? Why this problem should be solved currently? And I can give you 3 good reasons. 1, accounts are now aligning with how consumers want to purchase products. That is the biggest obstacle, and now it is out the way. They are currently needing an on-premise solution that will allow them to drive traffic and upsell their guests on-premise, and they have a staffing shortage at the moment. And then what's more, brands are now understanding what Insights can do in the off-premise space, messing with Drizzly as well as Instacart. We want to provide that same value and insight within the on-premise space. Let's not miss out on this opportunity. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Fantastic job, Rohan. Thank you. So we have some questions from the audience, and I'm going to start here. Given that this is a data play, you probably need a lot of data to make it valuable to these brands. Roughly how many consumers do you think you need to be using the platform in order to get to a place where that data is actually valuable for those brands?
Absolutely. Brands are looking for at least around 75 to 100K data points. As we onboard each user, we're grabbing around 12 data points. So we're looking at around 15,000 users before we start to have some meaningful data.
Got it. Perfect. Well, related question to this is, how will you get consumers to use the app?
Absolutely. So in working hand in hand with these hospitality groups, we provide physical collateral on premise so that we can provide activations on venue. And we also will be working with email and social media and giving campaigns so that they can let their audience be aware that they're using Barley technology. We'll also have some virality factors built into the app, such as bill splitting and
my friend is she's on the.
How you doing, Charlie?
Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
All good.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Do we have another question?
Yeah, sorry about that. Did you get to finish that answer, or was there more that you wanted to say?
No, that's basically it.
Okay, I got a couple more questions for you. Because you're advertising alcohol in the app via the brands and the suppliers, are there any major issues giving all the tied house regulations? Are any of these laws going to be barriers for you that you have to deal with?
Absolutely not. So we actually see that as a benefit. Brands cannot sell directly into accounts. So here's what's happening right now. They have a field sales manager that builds a relationship with these accounts. And what they'll do is offer new menus that are logo based with Remy. They'll provide the table tents or provide the shot girl situation, which is why they have no idea what their marketing ROI is within on premise. So we're giving them a tool where they actually can have insights on how their marketing initiatives are working and where depletions are per account.
Great, thanks. One investor asked, the market geographic growth seems very low. Why would you not be able to expand to more cities more rapidly?
It's not that we can't. We understand that the user experience on premise is what our main focus needs to be. Once we do that, we'll be able to provide our own moat. And in that moat, we'll find a recipe that we'll be able to replicate into other markets. Once we find what that recipe or formula, so to say, is, we'll be able to scale a lot faster.
Great. Okay. Okay. One last question for you. Do the common restaurant bar POS systems have open APIs for you to integrate to? I would imagine that will be really important, given that, the venue owner point of view is to really, make less friction, reduce friction, and having the manager have to juggle yet another POS system or yet another app. So can you talk a little bit about what you know around that?
Absolutely. So our goal is to create a turnkey solution for these accounts. And the way we see it is accounts are going to start having their own tech stack where they have to make sure that they're making the demand for their consumers dine in, take out, as well as delivery. And where Uber Eats and Grubhub is focused on delivery, we will focus on the dine in and take out experience, which of course they're using more open APIs, such as Clover, Breadcrumb, and Toast.
Yep. All right. Those were very great answers. Very thoughtful, Rohan. Thank you so much. Okay, next up, ladies and gents, we have Rosie White and Belden Long with their startup. It's called Just Be. And Just Be is a really exciting company. They are helping neurodivergent children to reach their full potential. Tell us all about it, Rosie. Ready to go?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having us. We're really, really excited to be here. TPI has been amazing for us. So we're excited to share a little bit of our journey with you. My name is Rosie White, and I'm the co-founder of Just Be, along with my wild and brilliant partner, Belden Long. As an Olympic and professional athlete, I know the value of specific physical activity because it's the foundation of who I am as a person. And last year, when the world turned to Zoom, my partner, Belden, introduced me to a problem that has fundamentally changed the way that I perceive physical activity. If you can, imagine being the parent of a child with autism during COVID. Naturally, parents were desperate for a physical outlet for their kids, and Belden, as a private yoga teacher and physical activity specialist for kids on the spectrum, was now challenged to teach children with autism online. Belden asked for my help designing some teaching tools, and the idea for Just Be blossomed. Not only did we discover that online activity is actually more practical and accessible for this demographic, we realized there was nobody really owning the space of physical development for kids with autism. Given that 1 in 54 kids in the United States has autism, I bet you either know a child with autism or you've been touched in some way. The most important thing I've come to learn about autism is that every child is uniquely different. However, most kids do experience similar challenges in developing social and cognitive skills. And rightly so, this is where almost all of the resources are focused, while physical development becomes a little bit of an afterthought. Because for most kids, you don't have to think about your physical development because it's happening in natural environments like play and sports. But this is not true for Faisal in this picture, who my co-founder works with, and 1.5 million other kids in the United States with autism who don't know how to play or learn in the same way as their neurotypical peers. Exercise matters for everybody, and especially for kids with autism who are facing some pretty disheartening statistics that Just Be's tackling. 2 times more likely to be obese and 4 times more likely to experience depression. Without intervention, kids with autism will continue to struggle with their physical development because traditional activity like soccer practice generally doesn't work for kids with autism who need one-on-one attention to learn at their own pace. However, that one-on-one attention with professionals like occupational therapists is restricted by time and cost. So Just Be's got a solution. A platform that offers specific, consistent, guided physical activity at an affordable price. Aside from creating classes that are accessible 24/7 and guided by professional athletes and occupational therapists, Just Be is creating a sensory-friendly environment to give kids the opportunity to get the consistent practice they need to excel. The pacing is very important. Sometimes it takes kids with autism a couple of extra seconds to process information, so we give them enough time to respond and complete tasks independently. The visual organization of the screen is very intentional. The language is concise and clear, and the predictability and the structure of our classes allows kids to thrive in a routine practice. For example, every class begins with heavy proprioceptive work, which helps kids with autism feel more organized in their bodies before we start introducing any more complex movements. Because there are so many complexities at play here, we're making it as simple as possible. It's like Netflix. Create a profile, subscribe monthly, and get access to a growing library of classes. We believe that Just Be will grow to serve all neurodivergent children, a market of 12 million in the United States. But first, we're focusing on the 1.5 million kids with autism in the US alone. To give you a taste of our revenue opportunity, at 19% of that autism market, we're serving 285,000 customers with an annual revenue of $120 million. Our go-to-market strategy. For the first year, we're focusing on direct sales. We're going to maximize the relationships we've already established with pediatric occupational therapists who continue to be a really strong referral for Just Be. Christy Harris, one of our advisors, is part of several occupational therapy collectives and will be targeting these groups and online groups. There's many Facebook communities with thousands of active parents of children on the spectrum. So we know where to find these large communities, and we're going to be interacting directly with them. Our motto is do it right the first time, which means slow growth in year one, where we can test our customer acquisition, make sure the content is right, and the platform is set up for rapid growth in years 2 and 3. The most important thing to note about our competition is that none of these businesses are a child-facing platform for kids with autism, nor do they meet the needs of kids on the spectrum. Exercise Connection is the only platform dedicated to kids with autism, and they've been really successful educating educators, but they don't teach directly to kids. Our proof of concept really comes from GoNoodle, who are an exercise platform for kids and get 14 million kids moving every month. So now more than ever, people are really comfortable working out from home and also understand how important physical activity is for their overall well-being. The stars are aligned for Just Be right now. Our team. Belden is a doctoral candidate at Duke University, and I'm a 2-time Olympian. We met as teammates at UCLA, go Bruins, where we became national champions and best friends, and we were just really drawn to each other's energy. And our shared skills and experiences up until this point have really built the foundation for Just Be to grow, and we can't wait to continue bringing on the best. Our ask is $250K, and this is going to get us through 12 months of content development and research and allow us to onboard a really crucial 500 to 600 customers. And this is going to set us up to raise round 2, build our own platform, and then grow exponentially. Physical movement changes the way we live our lives. Not only is Just Be empowering these kids to feel confident and capable in their bodies, Just Be is enabling parents to shift their mindset and focus on what their child can do. Just Be is ready to get these kids moving in a way they've never had the opportunity to before. We're maximizing physical potential, and on a deeper level, we're bringing joy, fun, and connection into these families' lives. Thank you so much for listening. We are really excited to be here, and we would love to connect in any way. Even if you just want to join our newsletter, we'd love to hear from you. So thank you very much, and open for questions.
That was wonderful, Rosie. Great job. Welcoming Belden to the stage here as well to help us answer some questions from the audience. First question, how do you create the content? Is there any scientific data or research behind how it is created?
Hi, everybody. My name's Belden. Just want to reiterate what an honor it is for Rosie and I to have the opportunity to present in front of all of you and how excited we are to share Just Be with the world. And I'm going to go ahead and answer Debbie's question about how we create our classes and also the science behind what we're doing. So how we create our classes. First, I don't know if anybody checked out our advisory team, but we collaborate with pediatric occupational therapists, adaptive PE teachers, and behavioral therapists to create classes that meet the needs of children on the spectrum. From here, we actually test our content live in real time with our students through Zoom. So it's great to see how they respond and what support their parents need. Following this, we have teamed up with a professional videographic team for production. And then the science behind what we're doing. I don't know if anybody knows anybody with autism. Like Rosie said, 1 in 54 kids. And depending on what you know, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what proprioceptive input is. Rosie mentioned it in our talk. But if you or I were to put our arm out to the side and close our eyes, most of us will know that our arm is out. For children with autism, they lack body awareness, so they don't know where their body is in space. So the beginning of our classes all start with heavy proprioceptive input. Rather, the kids are giving it to themselves, or we're calling on the parents to give it to them. And this sets them up initially to learn more complex movements. And the last thing I wanted to add is it's a really exciting time. Recent research just this past month in June actually asked autistic adults what would have supported their physical activity growing up. And these adults reported that having the support of a loved one and a sensory friendly environment would have enabled them to be more physically active. And that's what Just Be is providing.
Fabulous. Great job, Belden.
I'm sorry. It was hard to let Rosie present. We have a lot to share. So thank you for listening.
Going back to the content, is there a certain way that you need to organize it so that like kids need to work through it in a certain order or modules or how modular is it, or does it need to be?
So that's a great question. Initially, Rosie and I we really struggled with this, and we kept reaching out to experts about how do you do it? How do you do it? And nobody is doing it. So what we found is the best way to do it is to create courses with overarching themes. And these themes are what we have found to be the most essential for these kids to practice. All of our courses complement the skills that children are doing with occupational therapists in session. So they're just getting more consistency within these goals. And as goal-oriented athletes, we know that the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So that's how we're organizing initially, is creating overarching courses with common themes. However, each class has a common rhythm and consistency, which allows for kids with autism to gain more familiarity with what's happening. And within that familiarity, we found that our students become more independent within this routine that the Just Be class provides them. Eventually, as we grow our library, we're addressing different learning styles. For example, we have kids that love music, kids that love numbers. And so what we would like to do is to be able to serve those kids classes that meet their specific interests and what their learning style is.
Great, thanks. All right, here's my last question. Can you say a little bit more? You mentioned the OT community and working through them to get to parents and families. What are some of the ways you're going to use OTs and work with the OT community to drive subscriptions?
That's a great question. And I think what is really important for us is to really build that network of those trusted professionals. We know that parents have a really trusting relationship with OTs because it complements the skills that they're already teaching. That Facebook is a massive hub for these families and communities, and there's hundreds and thousands of parents interacting on Facebook every day. For example, we started our own Facebook group without any interaction, and we asked one question on one parent Facebook group saying, is anyone interested in resources for physical activity, and directed them to our group, and we had 80 people join the group in one day. without posting anything. So I think the need is there, and we know where to find these groups of people. So we're really excited to sort of become a thought leader in the space. Yeah.
Well, that was great. Thank you, Rosie and Belden. It was really fun to learn more about Just Be, and I hope people will join you in your breakout room after the pitches are over to ask more questions, because I didn't have time to get to all of them. There were still some folks who didn't get their questions answered. So remember to go see Just Be in their breakout room. Thanks, guys.
And thank you again, everybody, for being here.
Okay, our third team is KJ Bryant and Patrick Cromwell. They are the co-founders of NARP, and NARP is an online marketplace that allows collegiate and professional athletes the opportunity to sell their gear directly to the fans. So, okay, KJ, let's go.
Okay, Debbie, let's go. I got it. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah, all
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I am KJ Bryant, and I'm going to be presenting with my close friend, my former teammate and partner, Patrick Cromwell, and together we created NARP Clothing. So before we talk about NARP, I want to talk about the problem that we are solving. As Patrick and I, we were former college teammates at Clemson. We played on the baseball team, and as D1 athletes, we accumulated tons of team issue gear. But after we got done playing, all this gear was untouched, and we needed a safe and reliable marketplace for us to sell our gear. And from the fans' perspective, they do not have the opportunity to buy team issue gear directly from their favorite player or from their favorite team. And when a fan goes to the store to buy their gear, the athlete does not receive compensation.
So just like KJ said, that's the problem. What did we do? We solved it right here. We created NARP Clothing, which is a marketplace that allows professional and collegiate athletes the opportunity to sell their team issued gear directly to fans. So by the numbers already, we have 95 teams on our platform with 150 active athletes selling, with more than 1 million organic social impressions.
So selling on NARP Clothing can be broken down into 5 steps. First, the athlete signs up to sell to become a vendor. Then Patrick and I will get a notification. We will reach out to the athlete. We will verify that the athlete is who they say that they are. And then once the athlete is verified, we will send them a link to where the athlete can take pictures and upload their products directly to the locker. Now, the athlete picks their own prices, and they can determine what goes in and out of their locker. Then, once an item is purchased, the athlete will receive a prepaid shipping label, and they will print the ship label off and take that directly to UPS to ship directly to the customer. Once the item is delivered, the athlete will receive a payment.
So total addressable market. As you can see, the number on the left, it's just under 500,000 current NCAA athletes. And with current NIL laws that just came out earlier this month, we're still waiting to see how it shakes down when it comes to these universities allowing current student athletes to sell their gear. But the number that we're really looking towards is this 15,000 in the center, and that's the athletes in the transfer portal. So as transfer athletes ourselves, KJ and I understand what it's like to be a transfer athlete and to go from one school to the next. And it doesn't sound great, but sometimes when you leave a university, you don't have the best thoughts or memories attached to that gear. So some athletes might want to sell their gear. We think we could hold a great opportunity for these athletes to make a little money and sell some gear that would otherwise go untouched. And then also we have just under 12,000 professional athletes in the United States. All of them are welcome to join NARP Clothing and sell some gear.
So right now we have a 20% base fee. All athletes, they have a 3 to 5 day window to ship their gear. If the athlete is slow with shipping and they wait beyond 5 days, our base fee increases to 25 to 33%.
Quick look at the financials. And yes, this is bootstrapped by KJ and I, just the two of us. And so our annual recurring revenue right now is just over 6 figures at 125,000. Our monthly overhead is only $160. We are a very lean company. And then on the far right, which is a number we're very proud of, each athlete selling on NARP is making an average of $800 per locker.
So our projections right now, by 2022, we want to have 300 new athletes selling on the platform. By 2023, we want to add an additional 500 athletes. And by 2024, we want to have 1,000 new athletes actively selling.
All right, let's talk about the competition a little bit. So on the left, we have Sideline Swap. The best way to describe them, they're similar to what we do, but they're more like a garage sale. So if you have like an old glove or a pair of cleats from high school or whatever it might be, you can take a photo, upload it on their site and sell it. So how we differentiate from them is we are strictly collegiate and professional athletes selling on our platform. And then we have the Players Trunk. They're doing something very similar to us with collegiate athletes. How we differ from them is with our model. They like to buy the gear up front from the athletes and then sell it on their site. More often than not, they're marking up the prices and the athlete gets a short end of the stick in that situation. And also we differentiate from them because KJ and I are former athletes ourselves and the guys running that company are not, so they don't understand the athlete perspective. On the right, we have Athlete Direct, which is a new player that just came in about a month ago. So they're doing something similar to what we're doing, but we haven't really seen what exactly they're all about yet, but we are keeping a close eye.
So we are looking to capitalize on the name, image, and likeness space. As Patrick mentioned, athletes, they can earn profits range from $800 all the way up to $1,000. Also, we give the option for athletes selling on the platform to donate their proceeds to a charity of their cause. And Patrick and I, we are also connecting the fan to the athlete. Owning gear from your favorite player or from a player from your favorite team stimulates an intimate experience.
All right, so here's some notable athletes that have sold on NARP clothing. We have Malcolm Mitchell, Super Bowl champion. He opened up a locker with us and all of his proceeds went to his own charity, Read with Malcolm. So it's awesome to work with him and help him help his own charity out. In the middle, we have Megan Whittle, who's arguably the greatest lacrosse player ever, holds so many records, we couldn't even list it all. And she donated all the proceeds from her locker to a cause as well. And then on the far right, we have Isaiah Roby, who's a former Nebraska Cornhusker and currently plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So this year he kind of had a breakout year with them. So it was cool for KJ and I to kind of keep up with him. Like, yeah, that's our guy selling on NARP.
So a couple key milestones. Patrick and I, we officially launched NARP last June 2020 in the thick of a global pandemic. By August, we were very proud of this. We paid off all of our startup debt. By October, we had over 100 athletes actively selling. And the first of 2021, we grow 6 figures in revenue.
So moving forward with the name, image, likeness laws that were just passed earlier this month, it's all about selling gear. There are many opportunities and avenues for athletes to get on board with NARP. Here are just 3. So 1, we have signed photos and memorabilia. Very easy for an athlete to get access to the photo themselves, write their autograph on it, and then post it to their locker and sell it to a fan. We also have NARP Academy, which is kind of like a mentorship or tutoring program for these athletes where you just open up about a 30-minute window in their day. People can sign up and get an online or virtual lesson. And it's a quick way for these athletes to make a little bit of money. Also, we have NARP Life. That's kind of like our vlog section of NARP. And that's more of like the content creation. On the right, there's a photo of Miles Rice, who's a linebacker at University of Washington a couple years ago. He made a vlog for us, and it turned out great.
So here's our team right now. It's just Patrick and I. And if you want to learn more or if you have a question that wasn't answered during the Q&A, please feel free to reach out, and we would love to connect with you.
All right. Nice job, guys. I love this. So let's get to some questions. You did a really good job. So how do you find the athletes that you're getting onto the platform? And do you have a plan to get them at scale? Because it sounds like you've kind of been doing this very manually so far. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so to start, this was a brand new concept. No one had ever done this before. So we had to go into our immediate network of friends, teammates, and kind of say, hey, we think we're onto something right here. You just have to trust us. And so it started with some Clemson football players. We helped them sell some gear. And then once their lockers sold out, we worked by word of mouth. They would tell their teammates. And then we kind of branched out and told all of our friends that played collegiate sports, like, hey, we're onto something special here. We'd like to help you out if that's okay. So at the beginning, it was mainly word of mouth that helped us out. Since then, we've gone into DMing and contacting on social media. But in the future, we would like to pair up with an agency or a university or even a conference and get that steady pipeline of athletes joining NARP clothing.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a great job on social and making that experience really cool for both sides. And the thing that I heard you say about differentiation for you guys was really this idea of the athlete selling their clothes directly to the fan, and that creates this really intimate experience. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how you might further build upon that differentiation or defend that differentiation from a competitor that might come into the market?
Yeah, so right now we do strictly consignment, and athlete ships directly to the customer. If we were to buy the gear up front from the athlete with that business model, somebody has to get the short end of the stick. And most of the time it's the athlete. And Patrick and I were very mission driven with us being former athletes. You know, we came to the space to get other people paid. So that's what we're going to stick to.
Love it. Tell me a little bit about what you would need to grow faster. Is it money? Is it people? Like if somebody wanted to supercharge you guys, what would you want?
So for us right now, our main issue, what we're not really struggling with, but the thing that needs to be addressed is getting that steady flow of athletes signing up, opening lockers, and joining the platform. So for us, you know, whether it's a connection or what I previously said, teaming up with an agency, a conference, a university, anything along those lines, it doesn't strictly have to be a financial push, but it could be more of a connection to get us paired up with anyone who could kind of help us out in that aspect.
So who would you most want to get on the NARP platform right now?
That's a loaded question. Everyone. we want to help all current or former student athletes. We don't turn anyone down.
All right. I got a question. Somebody asked, how do you return something that has been bought on the NARP platform?
So how do we return something? Luckily, that only happened a handful of times. Right now, there is a 24 to 48 hour window that we hold payment with the athlete after the gear is delivered directly to the customer. We personally reach out to every customer and ask them, hey, how do you like the gear? And most of the time that the customer will reach out and say, hey, I love it. But if that instance does occur, we send the customer a prepaid shipping label. They ship it directly back to the athlete, and then we just relist the item on the website.
Great. Well, you guys are clearly ready for this moment in time with the NIL laws changing. I think there's a lot to talk about there that we don't have time to talk about right now. But I think if people are interested in that topic and want to dive in further with these founders, I encourage you to check them out in their breakout room afterwards and ask some questions and maybe offer up some other ideas for them to think about, since this is like a space that is currently exploding and they are well positioned to take advantage of it. So very exciting. Great job, guys.
Thanks so much. Thank you guys for being here. Cage and I are fired up to present. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Okay, our next entrepreneur is Blair Stewart. He's the founder of Cool Cat. Blair's a former professional hockey player from the NHL. And he's going to talk about his company called Cool Cat, which makes wireless rechargeable heating and cooling wearables. Take it away, Blair. Other screen. Blair, I think you might be on mute. Because we can't hear you and we're not seeing your right screen. Blair, are you there?
Unmute. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We've all been there a million times. All right, you're good. You're all set up.
Okay.
Looks great.
Okay.
Hit it.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry about that. My name is Blair Stewart, and I'm the CEO and founder of Cool Cat. Oh boy. Gonna have to go on. Something screwed up here. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Do you want to try and fix it, or you want to work on it and we'll go over to the next pitch?
If you don't mind, because I need to figure this out. I don't know why it's doing this.
Okay, no problem. You want to unshare your screen, and
Yes.
Avery and Peyton, can you guys tee yourselves up to go now?
I think so. We should be able to do it. Avery?
Yep, we're good.
Awesome. I love that you guys can be so flexible. So what was supposed to be our last team, but will now be our second to last team, but not least, Avery Collins and Peyton O'Reilly, who are co-founders and cousins and former D1 athletes. Avery is also a professional soccer player currently. They have created a company called One Team, which is a social network designed by athletes for athletes. And their goal is to help athletes succeed long after they have retired from sports. So Avery and Peyton, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Peyton O'Reilly.
And I'm Avery Collins, and we are the co-founders of One Team. One Team is an exclusive community for elite athletes, providing us the support, connection, and resources that we need to thrive in sport and life beyond. I currently play professional soccer in the NWSL, but unfortunately, 3 days into preseason, I tore my ACL. Due to the cutthroat nature of professional sports, this meant that the future of my soccer career was uncertain. The sport which I contributed 4 hours daily consistently over the past 10 years was suddenly taken from me at the flip of a switch. Can you imagine your professional career ending at 23? You waking up one morning and being challenged to completely reinvent yourself. Well, this may sound dramatic, but this is actually very much a stark reality for many elite athletes, those of us who have competed at the college or professional levels. Sport has become such a critical part of who we are and what we do that when our athlete identity is taken from us, whether this be through injury or maybe just the expiring of our eligibility, we oftentimes feel lost and are faced with a very difficult and intense transition. To help you understand just why this transition is so difficult, let me walk you through a day in the life of a D1 football player. Peyton played football at Miami, Ohio, and this was very much his reality over the past 4 years. The point here is that he spent 7+ hours dedicated to sport. That means around 75% of his waking hours were consumed with sports and academics, leaving him little time to figure out who he was and what he liked outside of sport. Well, during our playing careers, this is something we as athletes often give up, even give it up like we don't care, it's okay. But by the end of our playing career, the ramifications are felt when we go to transition. In our survey of over 300 former NCAA athletes, we found these to be the 6 most universal difficulties experienced in elite athlete transition. However, for us, this was not surprising because we knew as athletes that this transition was difficult. But what was surprising was the fact that 75% of these athletes felt undersupported in their sport transition. This led us to the conclusion that there's a massive gap in resources and support for elite athletes in their transition. And this is for many reasons. For college athletes, oftentimes the full scope of their transition isn't realized until post-graduation, when they no longer have access to the university resources. And then for professional athletes like myself, I found that the NWSL didn't offer any transitional resources to its former athletes as of yet. So it was from these insights that the idea of One Team was born. One Team at its core is a community of athletes helping athletes, because who better to help athletes through their most difficult times than athletes who have been there before? However, the One Team community is so much more. It is also a curated collection of resources, including professional opportunities, social networking, and mental health support. Some resources include internships tailored specifically to student athletes' busy schedules, mentorships with former athletes who are now established professionals in their industries, peer networking opportunities for peers across sport and school, and obviously access to top mental health resources and professionals. So now you may be wondering, how big is this target market?
Annually, over 120,000 NCAA college athletes graduate. With only 2% of us going pro, this leaves 98% of us to undergo our sport to life transition. That's roughly around 118,000 athletes. And this isn't including the pro athlete population, which has a US churn rate of around 26%. So at its core, the One Team mission is to help athletes, providing every athlete with the team they need for life. However, we believe if we are able to curate a network of this size and demographic, many other players in the ecosystem will find it interesting.
So who has our back? We have been talking to universities across the country, as well as the NCAA and advocates for various players associations across the country, all of whom believe it is time to make this, time to solve this issue. Additionally, we believe that companies are very interested in our demographic. Approximately $8 billion is spent annually on diversity hires and diversity resources. And we believe that NCAA athletes are the best, most concentrated pool of well-qualified, diverse candidates in the world. Almost half of all NCAA athletes are minorities, and these athletes already have the best leadership and teamwork skills that one can acquire. Additionally, we plan on building out the quality of our athletes. We have top-of-the-line resources that will push them above the competition, as well as specialized internships designed to fit their schedules, giving athletes a look into industries that have never been accessible before. As far as our revenue model goes, we do not believe that the athletes should have to pay for these services, so we have come up with 3 other revenue streams. The first of which is hiring out of our internship program. We will charge a fee for every athlete that is hired out of our program, as well as a advertising revenue. We believe that One Team will grow to 10 million plus eventually, resulting in millions of dollars of revenue each year. And finally, we have a curated marketplace for outside companies to reach athletes to provide services that we believe will help them succeed in the long run. As far as the market or the market size goes, there's almost a $1 billion total addressable market. And we believe eventually we will be able to grab 30% of this market. And within the first 5 years, we have a goal of reaching approximately 10% of all graduating athletes, resulting in $90 million in annual revenue. As far as competition goes, on the left-hand side, you can see the broad competition. And these are all widely accessible services where it's impossible to foster meaningful relationships that will help athletes build and succeed in their careers. And on the right-hand side in that bottom corner, you can see companies like Athlete Network and ACT. All of them do a great job placing athletes in careers, but by the time athletes get on these services, it's too late and athletes don't know what they want to do. So they often get thrown into different industries without any experience, and it doesn't work out well for them. That's why we believe that One Team is the perfect combination between social and professional. Additionally, we have had over 500 athletes sign up for our program in the last week and a half alone, and we've been talking to Fortune 500 companies who are also interested in hiring these athletes. These companies are all in industries where athletes are already proven to be better than the competition, and they're all very excited to join our pilot program. As for our team, myself and my cousin Avery Collins, we are both athletes, so we know that this is a problem. I graduated from Miami University with finance and accounting degrees, and my cousin is currently a professional soccer player for the Washington Spirit. She graduated from Stanford and went on to get her MBA at Washington State University. So far, we have been using our networks to build out One Team, and we've also created a social media presence. But we believe campus captains will help spread our network through the university system and help it grow like never before. As for today, we are asking for $200,000 to launch One Team. The first $100,000 will go to building out the program, and our goal is to launch by the end of 2021. The second $100,000 will go to advertising, legal, and building out the programs that we spoke to earlier. So please, now that you know a little bit about what One Team is about, our goal is that the end of your athletic career is not the end of everything that you have ever worked for, but is a beautiful launching point into a career that you never imagined was accessible. So even if you're not interested in investing today, go to GoOneTeam.com. Please sign up for our pilot and help athletes just like you succeed in the future. Thank you. We'll now be taking any questions. Oh, I think you're muted, Debbie.
Fantastic. So good. I got all excited. That huddle for life thing really gets me every time. Okay, so I think a lot of people on the Zoom would agree that this is something that is really needed for the athlete community. So let's take a few questions and see what else you can tell us about it. You mentioned mental health resources as part of the offering. What are you thinking about there, and how will you find the right providers for these athletes in your network?
Yeah, so obviously mental health is a big topic currently, but we believe at One Team that it's no one size fits all kind of approach. So the first thing we really want to do is help create just authentic space where athletes feel comfortable engaging. So whether that's peer support groups or just micro communities on the platform, that's one aspect. But yes, also having professional resources. So we've been talking with Sports Psych, who works with the Wizards and the Mystics, about how we can work together to create content, bring other established professionals into the fold and to work with One Team.
Nice. Okay. So how will the content get created for the network, and who will be doing that? How do you make it sticky?
Yeah, so content we see as like a threefold process. We see in-house generated content, user generated content, as well as paid content. So at the beginning, it will be very much in-house content generated by me and Peyton. So that's speaker series, day in the life, just reaching out to our network. We've already had many athletes who just want to give back to the community who are interested in that. And then obviously we'll build out from there. As far as the stickiness, we just really think it's about staying core to the mission of One Team, which I think is just creating an authentic community. There's really nothing out there that unites the athletic community. So creating a space where we can just be ourselves and want to engage with our teammates across sports and across ages.
So it sounds like you talked to a bunch of really big companies on the internship and recruiting side of things. What are you hearing from them? What are they saying about this idea, and how might you structure revenue that you would get from them?
Yeah, so all the companies we talk to are extremely excited. We've seen over this past year how everything can go online, a lot of online internships, and that's something that works really well for our program, just for athletes in general. So I can go and I can do my workouts in the morning and kind of come on and do the work that the company wants me to do in the afternoon. So that's one thing that'll really help propel us forward. As far as the revenue goes, we think that, we don't think, but our revenue works that once a company hires the athlete out of our internship program, we will charge them a fee, and then they'll pay for us that way.
Got it. And how do you want the athlete ecosystem to support you? You mentioned players associations and the NCAA and other people who sort of all are part of this world with you. What are they saying about it, and what would you want them to do to help you?
I think the first thing is just tell your friends. All being athletes in the ecosystem, if this is something that would help you or you think would be of value, spread the word. So I think that's where we start. The biggest thing is our mission aligns with players associations, teams. We want athletes to be the best, not only in their playing careers, but also beyond. So we want to work with everybody in this space to really just help every athlete have the best experience possible.
Great. And how will you maintain an advantage over the competition? This is your last question.
We believe that the relationships that we build with the companies, and once we start putting high quality candidates into their hiring pool, that'll be a huge competitive advantage. We'll currently be the only ones that will be able to offer the athletes, because you can't go to a career fair and find athletes. I mean, you can connect with them on LinkedIn and Handshake, like we mentioned earlier, but a lot of the times athletes won't get back to you. They won't reach back out because a lot of it's bots. So it's a lot more personalized, and the relationships will kind of just build themselves. So.
Got it. Okay. Well, so there are more questions here for you guys that I can't get to right now. So thank you. You did a great job. And I hope folks will join them in the breakout room after the pitches are done and talk some more about maybe how you want to get involved if you're an athlete, or how you want to support the growth of this wonderful community that Avery and Peyton want to build. So congratulations, guys. Great job.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. If you are an athlete and want to hear more, catch us in the breakout rooms.
Thank you, guys.
Good job. Okay, Blair, what do you think? Do you want to give it another go?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens for sure.
All right, we're ready for you then. Okay, it looks good.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I can't, when I go on screen share, it's not letting me move my,
It's not advancing.
no. it's not advancing, so I guess I'm going to have to pass on this. Sorry.
Well, can you manually advance it by just hitting enter?
No, it's not even doing that. It's just almost like frozen up on me.
Oh, that's
Can
too
you
bad.
send
Well,
either Abby or I the slides?
Pardon me?
Maybe we can do it for you.
Can you what now?
Can you send either Abby or I your deck and we'll move it for you?
Should be able to, yeah.
All right, if
Try,
you want-
Blair, try clicking on the actual screen. Like,
with your mouse.
yeah,
On
not
my-
with like the arrow key, with your actual mouse.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, and it's
Okay.
just not.
Okay. Well, you want to just talk a little bit about CoolCat while you have folks here and tell them about what you're building? You don't
Well,
need slides anyway.
wait
Oh,
a
there
minute.
it is.
Wait a minute. Now it's working. Technology, I don't know what happened there. Sorry again, everyone, but good afternoon. My name is Blair Stewart. I'm the CEO and founder of CoolCat, and hopefully we can get to this. Now, let me ask you, have you ever experienced sweltering heat and humidity during the hot summer months where nothing seems to keep you cool for those outdoor activities that you love to do, or perhaps even working your outdoor job? Or how about during the winter months when you simply can't get that frigid chill out of your bones from the minute you stepped outside the door? No matter what you try, you just can't find that cooling or warming comfort zone. Now, as for me, I'm an avid motorcycle rider here in Texas, and I've experienced those days, those type of days many times over. Not only the extreme heat in the summer, but also the chilly weather during the winter months. And over the years, I just became very frustrated with the cooling and warming products that were available and how uncomfortable I was. It wasn't just my frustration that brought me down this road, but other riders were also indicating that they had the same dilemma. I thought, there's got to be a better way or a better product that can keep you cool and that lasts longer than 20 to 30 minutes while still being comfortable and unobtrusive to wear. So while searching the marketplace for a solution, I found that the majority of the cooling products were fridge, freezer, or water activated fabric that when put on, it's wet, damp, slimy, and uncomfortable with minimal efficiency time once exposed to the outside temperatures. Now, the plastic products with cooling and heating technology, as you can see, they're bulky, heavy, cumbersome, making it almost impossible to partake in any physical activity, and simply are not attractive to wear. So after 2 years of research and extensive experimentation, CoolCat was born. Now, CoolCat's patent pending cooling and heating wearables, it combines the attractive fabric look without the wetness, together with the efficient cooling and heating technology without the bulkiness. Now, the device is inserted into a specially designed gaiter, snugly securing it to the skin for any type of activity. It's rechargeable, and it will last for up to 2+ hours and can easily be removed for fabric washing. Now, should 2 hours not be enough, our device can plug directly into any USB power source for unlimited uses. Is it freezing cold outside? No worries. With the flick of a switch, it can change from cooling to warming and almost immediately take the chill away, allowing our product to be utilized 12 months out of the year. Now, as I was riding and driving around, it soon became very apparent that the market demographics for these warming and cooling products was much larger than for just motorcycle enthusiasts. I soon began to notice construction workers, road workers, landscapers, people walking their dogs, people working in their yards, law enforcement, firemen, joggers, hikers, cyclists. It just continued on. And I began to realize that these types of applications are endless. Now, although we absolutely do recognize this overall huge market size potential, our initial go-to-market strategy is to target just the motorcycle riders. Now, there's approximately 13 million riders throughout the US alone, and we will be connecting with riding groups throughout the country, as well as various media publications such as HOG, Harley Owners Group, and they have over 1 million members. Now, together with heavy digital media advertising on Facebook, Instagram, Meetup, and other popular social platforms, we will be implementing attractive affiliate programs within the riding groups to further gain the utmost rider exposure nationwide. Now, there's over 60 million people in the US who participate in some sort of outdoor activity at least once a week. Now, with 13 million of these being motorcycle riders, a low market share calculated at just 1,300 actual users in year one and priced as a premium product at $199, revenues of around $258,000 would be generated. Now, assuming Cool Cat will eventually gain a 5% market share in this activity space as its popularity grows, that equates to approximately 650,000 riders, creating revenues in excess of 129 million. Now, keep in mind, these numbers represent motorcycle riders only. As other activities are added, users will continue to increase, as will the revenues. Now, here are a few brands using semiconductor technology offering cooling, or like Cool Cat, both cooling and heating. But as you can see, unlike Cool Cat's secure device, there's nothing to steady these plastic products to the skin to stop them from moving or swaying around your neck during any physical activity. Now, another major Cool Cat advantage is our overall cooling and heating coverage area in comparison to any of these competitive brands. And as a note of interest, the Taurus brand had 300,000 of these units purchased in 2020, estimating close to $60 million in revenue. Now, as you can see by this competition slide, Cool Cat leads the way with both high efficiency and high comfort, along with fashionable appearance, whereby the fabric competition has low efficiency due to exposure to the ambient temperatures and low comfort because of the constant water activation needed, creating uncomfortable wetness. Now, the plastic technology brands have decent efficiency, however, low comfort grade because of their heavy and cumbersome design. Now, our team currently is comprised of myself and Steve Thayer, and I personally am a former player in the National Hockey League. I'm vested for almost 400 games. And since retiring, I've been a serial entrepreneur, founding a number of startup companies since the early 90s. Now, Steve, a former college goaltender, has several degrees within the technology world and handles all technical aspects pertaining to our devices. Now, we are actively looking to grow and expand our team, along with also creating an advisory board. Now, we are asking for pre-seed funding of $350,000 with the focus on getting the prototypes developed to have samples ready for handouts to well-known personnel from their respected outdoor activity, including my own personal network of influential connections from my playing career. And finally, last but not least, our vision is to have Cool Cat eventually become the #1 cooling, warming, and cooling wearables company, not only in the US here, but worldwide. Work, play, hot or cold, Cool Cat answers the call. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about that.
Great job, Blair. That was awesome. Well done, despite some initial tech hiccups. Super proud of you. You worked really hard, and it sounded great. So let's talk a few questions, if you don't mind. I have questions from the audience for you. Can you say a little bit more about how you will engage motorcycle riders?
Well, I mean, aside from the e-commerce side, we're going to have a presence at various bike nights, rallies, dealership events, social platforms that are directly related, to motorcycle riders. And also, we're not just targeting road bikes, but also motocross, which is another huge market.
Okay, terrific. Will you sell in any other places besides your own website, like Amazon or some other e-commerce, or in retail? If so, how does this impact your financials?
Yeah, we will be looking at not only Amazon, but big box retailers like Dick's and Academy, REI, ProBass shops, and Cabela's. However, our first year focus is really on the direct to consumer, but as far as the retailer's impacts on our financials, it'll decrease our margins, but it'll certainly increase our volumes.
Great. Okay. Is your design patented, and how will this be defensible from competitors?
Well, we currently have a patent pending that entails the complete unit, which is not only the technology, but also the specially designed fabric that secures our device to the skin. It's a complete package, and we'll be looking, to file a utility patent once our pre-seed funding has been secured.
Great. And one other question. What are some of the market learnings or user learnings you hope to understand with this round of funding? So as you get the prototype ready to go and share it with people, what are some of the things that you hope you'll really learn that will inform sort of the next version of whatever you build?
Well, I think, the main objective for this first round of funding, and I can't emphasize this enough, is to develop the prototypes to achieve the proof of concept. We've got a working model that has proven to me it's a valid product that people will want because of the problem it is solving. However, having influential users try the prototype and get their endorsement, on its functionality, design, and comfort, well, I think that'll create confirmed excitement, throughout the community.
Awesome. That was great, Blair. Thank you. You did a great job.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So that was so fun. You guys all did so well. Congratulations to the athlete entrepreneurs. You gave awesome pitches. Really, really well done. And I know I speak for everyone who's online right now, having listened to you, that we are all super intrigued with where you're going to go next with your companies, and looking forward to seeing you really take off. So congratulations. You did it.
Hey, thank you.
And we're all really proud of you. You accomplished a ton in a short amount of time. It just blows me away that it's only been 10 weeks. And really, this is just the beginning of your journey. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to toss it over to a very special guest that is going to say a few words about our entrepreneurs and about what we're doing. I'm really excited to hand things over for just a brief minute to NFL Pro Bowler, tech athlete entrepreneur, Sean Springs. Sean?
Let me get off of mute. I don't want to make sure I have any technical difficulties, but
you are good.
Blair, way to bounce back, man. I really loved your presentation. Thank you guys for having me. I will tell you, for all the investors out there, people listening to these young entrepreneurs, athletes pitch, you can clearly see that they not only are they gifted on the field and courts or wherever they played, or the ice in Blair's case, but they have the brains and smarts, and they have some wonderful ideas that if supported, I believe that they're going to succeed, because these athletes, as an athlete myself, I know that what it takes, the type of determination it takes to succeed and just make it in whatever sport you are, the amount of hours that you put in and the hard work and dedication that's needed to succeed on and off the field, these athletes will have success. I will promise you that. For you athletes out there who pitched today, great job. It is very, very difficult to have the courage to address a need and a problem. and see that a space, whether it's, as ed tech working on autism, or whether it's, helping people sell their old college gear because they're transferring out. But I would tell you guys to continue to make sure that you just have confidence, the same confidence that you bring to the field or courts or ice. Keep that same fire and that same spirit, and it's not easy, and it's going to be a journey. And just like everything else, you got to learn and be coachable, and and if you have that same type of humble spirit of being coached and willing to learn and leverage your advisors and some of the people that you've been fortunate to bump into through the Players Impact Fund, and Tracy and those guys do a wonderful job, and Debbie, you did a wonderful job today. And you guys have come a long way in 10 weeks, and I imagine you're only going to continue to get better and improve and hone in on your pitches and different things. So congratulations to that. And tell you a little bit about myself too. I was a athlete in college. I played football at the Ohio State, for any Buckeyes out there, as well as playing 13 years in NFL, where I played 7 in Seattle and 5 in Washington and 1 in New England. Unfortunately, I went to New England and won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. That didn't happen, so maybe it's me. But and now I transitioned. Not only did I have I think a pretty successful career, but I've been able to transition into the tech world. And I know how hard it is. So I'm speaking from experience. My company, WinPack, We are a material data and technology company that focuses on providing critical data to critical data that goes into design and simulation tools. Basically what I'm saying is we provide the data to anyone that's building a product. Our type of data allows you to run simulations, and we start off with foam and 3D printed things. And as a non-technical founder, it was a challenge getting people over the hump. To really understand and be able to articulate our story and what we do as a company and build out a team. And but again, I was able to leverage some of my great advisors. I saw that Cooley, you guys had a chance to work with Cooley. They also represent my company out of the DC office. Give a shout out to my guys.
They're awesome.
I give a shout out to my guys, Cooley and Mike Lincoln, and those guys. If Cooley people are on the call, but I would just continue to encourage you guys, because you can make it, and don't get discouraged, and find yourself aligning yourselves and leveraging the people that you met, the Debbies, the Tracys, and all the people that you worked over 10 weeks, and reach out to your network and make sure that you're just learning as much as possible, listening. You don't know it all, but at the end of the day, if you continue with that drive and that spirit of determination to win, you guys will have success, I promise. And don't give up. It's always the other way. And I'm happy to, I'm gonna go into the room and have a chance to speak with you young entrepreneurs and give my advice and how I can help and support you guys' effort.
Thank you, Sean. It was so great that you could join us today.
Yes.
Really appreciate those words of encouragement. And because we are super stoked about how well this first one of its kind program went, I'm happy to announce that we'll be running another academy in the fall and winter. Our applications are opening this Monday. So if you know any athlete entrepreneurs that would benefit from a program like this, please send them our way. We would love to talk to them about it and tell them all about it. Also, if you're inspired by this program and you want to be a mentor in our next cohort, please let us know. There's a form on our website you can fill out and tell us what your expertise is about. Tell us how you want to help out. We'd love to have you. So one more time before I hand things over to Shannon for our last half of the show, where we're going into the breakout rooms, I want to thank Cooley. And I'd like to express our huge gratitude to all the mentors and advisors and speakers and supporters who helped make Academy so great. Really, they are the heart of it. And they shared so much and were so generous with all of us. So I'm going to hand things over to Shannon now to close this part of our program, and she'll explain how it's all going to work. Shannon, welcome.
Hello. Well, that was, I know I said it earlier this week, but from being on the team that interviewed these businesses day one, that was phenomenal. Just huge congrats to this entire cohort. You guys really blew it out of the water, and it's so cool to see how you've developed, not just in your businesses, but in your style and everything. So great job. As Debbie mentioned, I'm Shannon Judd. I am the CEO and one of several partners of Transition Sports and Entertainment. We are a company that works with athletes to really capture their brand equity, their network equity, and everything they have in front of them while they're playing, and help start establishing a long-term path for career success that is anything and everything within or beyond their sport. We were founded by 11-year vet NFL player Keith Bullock. We currently work with a handful of different athletes across different sports. We have 3 amazing US women who are over there representing the United States right now in Japan. So we're excited about that. But on that note, I want to, say a huge thank you to Cooley again for sponsoring this. This cohort has just, this program from when Tracy, Dawn, and I started first, just mulling this idea around, has been taken to another level. And also Debbie, massive thank you to you. There is no shot that this would have been what it is right now if I would have continued to be the person running point. So
thank you.
I'm so grateful that you came along for us and for everyone involved. So on that note, we would like to encourage you all to please join the breakout rooms, even if you can just jump in for a few minutes. We know everyone's on a time crunch across different time zones, but this is a great shot for you to just jump in, and even if you're giving your quick 2 cents to anyone, ask questions. Down in the bottom right-hand screen, you can see a little thing that says breakout room, little grid guy going on. So if you click on that, you will be able to click into which of the breakout rooms you'd like to join in to. Once you're in those, if you want to bop out and go back into a new one, that is an option as well. But yes, please jump in, talk to them. Big thank you for everybody for your time and awesome work, everybody. So now it's time for us to jump into those rooms.
All right, let's go, everyone. Pick out your breakout room. Thank you, Shannon. You're a rock star. You're an amazing point mentor. Had so much fun working with you. Thank you, everyone, for attending Demo Day, and I hope you enjoyed the pitches. But let's go have some fun in these breakout rooms. I hope you will join us and spend a little time with these entrepreneurs and the pro athletes that are joining them in these breakout rooms.